And I now look to the Treasurer, James Lamming, to give his speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, no matter what the proposition tell you tonight, this motion is not a statement, it is a command. Tonight, we are not trying to ascertain the truth of some proposition. We are recommending and we are mandating a course of action. Look around. We are surrounded by the busts of British Prime Ministers. We speak from the dispatch boxes once used in the House of Commons. This is British parliamentary debating. For the proposition tonight to offer no defence of their own party is fundamentally disingenuous because it means they are trying to deceive you as to what this motion really is. No confidence does not just say, I disagree with Brexit. It says, I would prefer the Labour Party. It does not just say, I don't like the way Theresa May dances. It says, I would dance to the tune of Jeremy Corbyn. Every single no-confidence vote in the 20th century, the governments of Callaghan, of MacDonald and of Baldwin saw the leadership of this nation change hands from Conservative to Labour or from Labour to Conservative. So what does this mean? It means the proposition tonight must defend their own record, and so must we. It means they cannot hunker down, content to snipe and to sneer, to offer glib, dogmatic answers to deep and complex questions. They must offer you more than doom-mongering and instead propose a truly viable alternative to this Conservative government. Because the hard truth is this: there are no quick fixes and there are no miracle cures. But a party in opposition will promise you the world, safe in its knowledge that it will never be called upon to deliver. At its heart, this is a very simple debate, because it asks us to make the most basic of choices. It is about who should represent us and who should not. It is about the end we wish to achieve and the means we intend to employ. It is about the values that we as a nation want to adopt and those we want to cast aside. Never in the past 20 years have these two benches been so far apart on so many issues. Today, the Conservative and Labour parties present radically different visions for the future. The pragmatic against the dogmatic, the responsible against the doctrinaire, and the policies of the past against the policies of the future. And ladies and gentlemen, on every single issue, the Conservative Party comes out on top and the Labour Party comes up short. But before I tell you how I really feel, it falls upon me to introduce tonight's proposition. We've just heard from Anisha Farouk, a 30 historian at the Queen's College and a former OULC co-chair. It's been a real honour to work alongside Anisha over the summer, and I have no doubt that she will go on to great success in the Labour Party. Anisha told me that she would say something nice about me, so I didn't throw a joke. Closing for the proposition with Richard Bergen, Shadow Secretary of State for Justice. Elected in 2015, Richard is one of the youngest members of the Shadow Cabinet, and I look forward to hearing his views on the motion tonight. Mr. President, these are your guests, and they are most welcome. To paraphrase Maximus from Gladiator, what we do in the coming years will echo, if not for eternity, then at least for quite a long time. The next 5 years will be crucial to the future of this nation. In diplomatic terms, as Anisha mentioned, they will be perhaps the most challenging since the end of the Second World War. In this dangerous, never-changing world, we will have to tread carefully. There will be opportunities and there will be pitfalls. There will be realistic courses of action, and there will be pipe dreams. There will be a time for debate and a time for action. Regardless of our party membership and our partisan disagreements, when we leave the European Union, we must build for ourselves a bold and positive role in the world. We must not disparage our potential, but neither should we belittle Englanders. We are the 5th largest economy in the world, but we may not stay so forever. We have 3 of the world's top 10 universities, but competition is growing ever more fierce. We have the finest intelligence services in the world, but we must continue to adapt to new threats daily. We will leave the European Union, and when we do so, we can choose either to mope, to sit around and write Guardian articles about how our future has been ruined by the elderly, or we can chart our own optimistic course in the world, glad that we need no longer struggle against the ever closer embrace of the European Union. To do this, we must have confidence not just in our government, but in ourselves. Because these challenges will not be faced only by a government, be it Labour or Conservative, but by a nation. And this will be the challenge of division against unity, open against closed, and past against future. The nation we live in today has seen the norm of civil discourse, embodied by this chamber, eroded. We no longer seem to accept that our politicians and our fellow citizens might disagree with us, while still sharing our same motives of public service and a desire to improve our nation. We should not believe, as some at the Labour conference extolled, that proper education will end political debate. That is the path to tyranny. If we do not regain our trust in Westminster and our representatives, and our faith in our fellow citizens, then we have lost something essentially British, and our nation will suffer as a result. So tonight, I'd like to respond to the government's armchair critics. To those who call the Prime Minister indecisive, we tell them not to mistake indecision for authenticity. This government has not shied away. This government has not shied away from difficult decisions. Theresa May is not Tony Blair. She cannot spin and smile and charm like he could. Nor is she Boris Johnson. She cannot bluster and bamboozle like he can, especially against a hostile audience. But only Theresa May understands that what this nation needs is a response not dogmatic but pragmatic. We are a nation, as she put it, of freedom, of security, and of opportunity. Under her leadership, we are heading towards a Brexit deal that will preserve the most successful political union in history after this one, that will safeguard our economy, and that will protect our jobs.
Point of information?
No, thank you. She has laid out her plan, and this autumn she will achieve it in the face of almost insurmountable opposition from those implacably opposed to her success. If you are looking for Brexit indecision, try the Labour Party. Perhaps its representatives tonight can tell you their position. An entire shadow cabinet saying different things. A shadow foreign secretary, a trade union leader, your mayor of London, and Jeremy Corbyn. Could the next speaker please tell the audience tonight what the Labour policy is and why nobody has thought to tell Sir Keir Starmer, your Brexit secretary? No, thank you. The critics tell us this government doesn't care about the poor in this country. This at a time of record employment. This with an unemployment rate unseen since the 1970s. This after 6 continuous months of real terms pay increases. Since 2010, a million people have been lifted out of absolute poverty. Youth unemployment has fallen by 45% and has opened up career opportunities for our generation. And this government has promised the NHS an extra $20 billion by 2023. If you want to know what will do the most harm to this nation's economy, look at the Labour manifesto and the impossible promises of Jeremy Corbyn. As Neil Kinnock once said to the militant left, the momentum of the 1980s, I'll tell you what happens with impossible promises. I won't do the Welsh accent. You start with far-fetched resolutions. They are then pickled into a rigid dogma, a code, and you go through the years sticking to that, outdated, misplaced, irrelevant to the real needs. You can't play politics with people's jobs and people's services. The people will not abide posturing. The Conservative Party can and will deliver on what we have promised, a new relationship with the EU that works in everyone's interest. A nation which works, as the Prime Minister put it, not for the few, not even for the many, but for everyone who is willing to work hard and to do their best. And to those who say the Conservative Party is irreversibly divided, we tell them not to mistake division for disagreement. The Conservative Party is... I'll try it again. And to those who say the Conservative Party is irreversibly divided, we tell them not to mistake disagreements for division. There we are. The Conservative Party is a broad church. We do not threaten to deselect those who do not join our bandwagon, or purge non-believers, or threaten those who offer alternate opinions. We are not a party of yes men and yes women, nor do we want to be. Like the Oxford Union, we understand the best decisions are not always those which accord perfectly with the work of Marx or of Lenin, but the rigorous debate and the free marketplace of ideas should guide our actions. The late MP Sir Gerald Corfin once wrote, "The Labour Party would not be what it is, maddening perhaps, but also capable of arousing strong positive emotions, if people, not only with widely differing views, but also with widely differing analyses of episodes in the party's history, did not come together as fellow members." When the chips were down for Jeremy Corbyn and talk was rife of his own deselection, Tony Blair and then Chief Whip Hilary Armstrong said, "No, this party is a broad church." Last month, John Landsman, founder of Momentum, tweeted this: "Tony Blair was never in the right party, and there will never be a return to his politics in the Labour." He denounced us here the Labour Party's most electorally successful politician in history. If you are willing to silence anyone who disagrees with you at any cost, whilst you allow the extremists and anti-Semites to run riot in your party, then unity is no virtue and disagreement is no vice. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight you have a choice. You can vote for safe and pragmatic leadership, a government with a proven track record, or you can vote with Labour, a party who try their hardest to stamp out opposition but still cannot get their front bench in line, and whose policies will ruin this nation for the next 20 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I beg you to support the opposition tonight. Thank you.